Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Moments ago, the Seahawks and Titans wrapped up joint practice, and it was a little eventful, at least when you are in the injury tent. J.C. Latham had a period of time where he limped off the field with a left leg injury, but he got back on, and he was participating in practice as it wrapped up. Andrew Rupprich, it was continuing running with the ones at the right guard position, and right before practice wrapped up, Traylon Burks injured his hamstring. Now we are being told that they believe that it is just a cramp and that it was not a major injury. So we'll keep you updated on that as Brian Callahan just wrapped up his presser a few seconds ago. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols. This is the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans. This is 104.5 The Zone. First day of joint practice between the Seahawks and your Titans wrapped up just a little while ago. Good afternoon and welcome in. As he is the hitman, Blaine Bishop, I am Joe Hunt, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. As Blaine walks in right from training camp, like you, I mean, like it was like, I mean, training camp started later today. So
it did.
Yeah, so if you would have stayed for Callahan's presser and everything, you would have been seriously coming in on two wheels.
Oh no, I bolted the last team drills when they were scrimmaging there, but going against each other, ones on ones. But yeah, man, it was a nice little crowd out there. It's a lot of saw some big heavy hitters too in the media there. I saw Pivot out there with Ryan Clark and Crowder and crew. So Greg Cosell was out there. I think he was on Buck's show as well.
Yes,
so
he was.
Besides our whole crew was out there as well. But saw some former Titans. You had Bullock and Donnie Nicky. And so as far as who else was out there? Trying to think who else I saw besides Big B-Hop and Ramona. But it was a nice day. Good day for football. Fans came out, So it's one of those days you felt like early on in practice, I thought that both teams are just like, okay, filling each other out a little bit and not going, hard, but a little harder than normal. And then things started picking up. I thought the defenses, both sides probably won the day. The Titans on offense, which was the field that I was watching the most because it was right on the side I was on. Levis looked solid. A lot of dink and dunking. That they were playing zone though, so he was taking what the defense gave him. He missed a couple shots that I saw to Ridley. He might have made some of them too as well. But saw Burks make a play here or there. Tyler Boyd wasn't out there. I think he has a foot bruise or something. He didn't practice at all. So I don't think it's serious, but he wasn't out there. I saw Phillips out there in the slot. That's why I'm saying that. And Jackson. Jackson made some plays. Kearis Jackson, by the way. I might have missed some of the other guys that made some plays. So, it looked good. I saw Tajay Spears get ear-holed. I mean, really bad. His helmet popped off.
Oh, it was that bad?
Yeah, his helmet popped off. It was the kid. I had to go look the kid up, and he was out there with the ones too. By the way, I think his last name was Akuba or something like that.
Matada?
Yeah, something. 39. He went to Montana State.
All right,
and he was out there with the runs because the other safety was out there. I think number 8. So he was rotating in with those guys. So yeah, he brought the hammer, and that kind of turned up a notch after that for practice.
That woke everybody up?
Yeah. Do you have his name pulled up?
Ty Akata?
Akata, that was him.
Ty Akata. He's a free safety 1 year removed from Montana State.
Yeah, and he looked good. I ain't gonna lie. He form tackled him, didn't do anything. He didn't try to, cheap shot him, nothing. He form tackled, but he just brought the hammer and wrapped up and everything. Then he let him go, but the helmet had already popped off the hit. And he had, the Guardian, what's it called? The Guardian cap?
The Guardian cap?
Jonathan Taylor wore it in the game. I couldn't even tell on the screen when I was watching him in a real game. So, but yeah, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so, it was solid work. I'm interested to see how much the starters play in the preseason game, because you're talking about another practice again, and there's a part of me I really want to see a lot of the old line in game, live action, getting that chemistry, playing maybe a little bit more maybe than some of the skill guys. But it'll be interesting if they play about the same amount they played this last game. That sounds about what I'm feeling based off what Callahan is saying too, trying to read between the lines, but I don't know.
You can hop in on the F&M Bank chat simply by going to YouTube, Facebook, X, or Twitch, giving us a search of 104.5 The Zone, and that is where we are broadcasting at Zone TV. Got a question on the F&M Bank chat about to you while you were watching. Who was the most impactful player that you were able to pay attention to?
Well, it was kind of hard to say on that end. And, I watched one-on-one on the offensive line versus the Seahawks defensive line. I thought the Seahawks got the best of them. I don't know how good the Seahawks line is, but they look really good on one-on-ones. And then on the reverse side, the receivers looked really good on one-on-ones versus the Seahawks, because I saw that. I was on the side I was on. And the kid that I liked coming out of college, which he did play a lot and started, did really good. Their Weatherspoon kid from Illinois, who was an All-American last year, went first round. I think he was top 10 pick. I don't know. Anyway, he was getting toasted all day. It wasn't just on one-on-ones either. So he must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed. He didn't look very good. He looked good in games all last year as a rookie, but he did not look good today. Everybody got a piece of him.
He woke up angry just because he's like, I don't like our hotel room.
No, I don't know if he woke up angry. I think he woke up like, oh man, I gotta go to practice. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
We in Seattle. Yeah. It's always comfortable.
I'm dragging because of the flight, all that.
And the Nashville weather, it's like 90-something and humid out here, and it's drizzling. It's only 87 degrees, but it's got like a 43% humidity.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good, and now we got to go practice in this. Like, can't we go into the bubble?
That's kind of how he was looking, because it was consistent throughout the day. Everybody got in a piece of him. Also, Geno Smith, I don't think was practicing. I did not see him. But he might have been. If he did, he was limited on rest. But he was on the other field, and I was looking directly on this field. Tomorrow I'll look at the other field. But
yeah,
it's kind of hard to follow all the different players when they break up, and they got after it. I'm actually surprised. There was some pushing and shoving. I know a lot of guys don't want to get fined and everything, but there was a point in time where you thought, things have ratcheted up. You could tell the intensity level.
When you were talking about Spears
that's when I thought it was about to happen.
That's what I thought that is what led to it, because Buck started talking about how there was some pushing, some shoving, but then they all kind of backed away and cooler heads went at it and they stopped it. But I thought maybe Spears getting lit up that you were talking about is what led to it. Because, it would make sense that would be what would lead to something like that.
All it would have taken was just like an offensive lineman to come just jump in there and just come in there and headhunting people, and it would have been on. But nobody did. They were professionals the whole way through. So, both sides. So I thought that was pretty cool, because it was a clean hit. It was just a good hit. You got them.
And then we just can't have a day where nothing happens, where you're just thinking, man, it's good. Everybody got off the field clean, nothing wrong whatsoever. But look, you're listening to Buck's show, and as you're out there watching practice and everything, Buck and Lucas are kind of giving these play-by-plays of what's going on, of, one-on-one's going on right now. You have, Traylon Burks going up against who and all this. But then they go, J.C. Latham's limping. He's limping. J.C. Latham is limping off. And I'm like, no.
Oh, man.
Don't,
Yeah.
Don't you do this.
I had my earpiece in listening to them. It scared the living crap out of me. It did. Even somebody else, one of the receivers.
Yeah. Traylon Burks at the very end. They're like, Burks is down.
I was like, what? And then it was like, it's just a cramp.
Because
both of them. I was like, yes.
Yes, because you start thinking about, like, the first week, we had a good, clean week. Nobody really got injured against the 49ers outside of the one concussion. It's a concussion, but still the concussion. As a concussion. Put the crown on him and he's good. But no, you had the one little concussion, and then outside of that, everybody's fine. Yeah. But then not just at the Titans, all across the NFL, you're starting to see more players getting injured. You got all these players starting to go down, and you're thinking, oh crap, this is when all the injuries are happening. And then J.C. Latham hits. I'm going, we are so screwed. That's the first thing I thought.
I don't get nervous. I said, oh my, we're in trouble. If it was a serious injury, I was like, because at first they just said he's limping off the field. So then I go, he's limping? A big man limping. Nothing about me and a big man tells me cramp.
No.
Why is he cramping? Where he run to? He didn't be cramping. You better make sure he's drinking a whole bunch of water. He probably drank too much water. Yes. So I was real nervous because of how he looked in the game, which was solid. He can build on that. I still want to see him in some more pass pros versus some legitimate dudes who are going against backups. When I say legitimate, I mean just like starters. So, and then let him grow because he's going to make some mistakes. He's not going to be perfect. We can ask ours truly, Ramon and B-Hop, when they were rookies. I saw B-Hop give up three sacks with Bruce Smith, Hall of Fame player his rookie year, and you wonder what the heck is going on. And then you saw him progress and get better and better and better. The next he's dominating. So we got to make sure we understand that he has a process to go through, and hopefully he gets there sooner than later.
Well, no, and I think, look, just think about the excitement. I did a hit today down in Mobile about this, and they were asking, so what's the excitement level of Titans fans going into this season? As I was like, look, this offense looks really fun.
Yeah.
Again, not just you, but also from everybody from Titans Radio, from everybody that was at the game. I had some buddies that were at the game, and they went, this sounded like a regular season football game. Saturday night, the fans were in it.
They were loud, too.
Yes.
I was, oh, man.
It sounded like a real football game, not just, this is really fun. They're out there hitting each other. It sounded like a regular season game, and there's all this excitement. If Latham went down and there's a real injury, total flip on the excitement level for Titans.
It would have been like somebody punching me in my gut.
Yes.
I would have lost wind. I would have lost air.
I was
like, what are we doing?
Everything. Everything is
who can we say? What veteran?
Yeah, is there a left tackle that's out there? Is there a left tackle holding out?
I know.
Trent Williams.
No, they have to be on the roster. It's your best bet. And I'm like, where is that coming from?
No.
One of these tight ends can convert. Oh, my man Robertson looked good, too, the tight end.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, man, he looked good out there, man. I'm looking good with my training camp crush.
No, look, yours is looking better than mine. I'm telling you. I mean, when JC went down and they said, yeah, Jaron Christian's in. I'm like, who? Who is Jaron Christian? I wanted to start looking him up, seeing who he is, where he was. By the way, he was on the Browns in 2023, which is the reason why he is now with the Titans because of.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
Callahan.
So he's in here with Callahan, but yeah, he went in at left tackle when JC went down, and so I started looking him up, thinking I have no idea who this guy is.
Let's stop saying when he went down.
Okay,
let's
he didn't go down.
When he went out.
He went out and he was limping, and Blaine almost stopped breathing.
I did.
I felt like I'd gotten kicked in the coconuts. I was like, it was bad.
Coconuts.
I mean, it was bad, man.
I was like, what? And I'm like, and I'm just now getting in my car. I'm there, and I'm looking around. I go, what? What did I just miss?
Yes. Then you walk in, and the first thing we do is Zeph and I, Bananas, look at you and go, so Traylon got hurt.
I was like, what?
Traylon got hurt. And he's like, wait, when did this happen? I just left there. It's a 10-minute drive from where St. Thomas Sports Park is in our studio. And you're going, when did this happen?
Oh, man. And I was listening, but I was doing, on the phone, too, at the same time. But, yeah, so, everything's smooth sailing as far as injuries, I think. Cramping and everything else. I think they both went back out there. I don't know about Burks.
No, it was, and Callahan said at the very beginning, right when he stepped up, he's like, hey, you saw Traylon at the end kind of pull up with what looked like to be an injury. It's just a cramp. He's fine. There was no major injuries today. But still, in the moment, and with as much as Traylon Burks has been talked about on this radio station, everywhere. Slay literally is doing commercials wearing a Traylon Burks jersey.
Oh, is that his favorite player?
That's his guy. He's called that. When everybody else is off the bandwagon of Burks, Slay has been saying, "This is my guy. He's about to have a comeback year. Don't you guys get hopping on the bandwagon now once y'all see him having these big games." And he did a commercial that we air on Zone TV wearing a Traylon Burks jersey.
I seen the commercial. I just didn't know if he was just wearing it to be wearing it, or he was a big fan of his. Or I don't think. Well, I know the fans are, but I just want him to get in the game and prove it, and then he'll stick, and then he got to do it over and over and over again. And that's really all you're looking for. Or is he just a guy that's a phenomenal athlete, a big specimen that isn't a great football player? Well, and that's what you got to distinguish here, and that's what I'm hoping he can prove during this time with D-Hop out. Because there's two different deals, being a great athlete and if you're a great football player with all that athleticism. And he hasn't had a chance to really prove it consistently. And this is the time. So when I heard he's down, oh, he's screwed is the first thing I
Absolutely.
thought. If it was a significant injury.
Yes.
And it's not.
No, and we'll talk more about Burks because if you listen to the coaches during practice or after practice when they talk about Traylon and how well he's playing and how well he's performing, you're going, wait a second, this guy's getting it. But then Saturday, he only had one catch and he only played 15 snaps. So which Traylon Burks is the real Traylon Burks? We'll continue talking about this, 615-737-1045. You can also get in the FNM Bank chat by going to YouTube, Facebook, X, as well as Twitch. And, of course, we are brought to you by all Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Twitch, please.
I am thinking about just letting this play. As I'm Joe Hunk, he is Blaine Bishop, the Hitman. Brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Blaine may not speak for the next few seconds because Cole Hawker is on ESPN right now on Sports Center, and he and Blaine went to the exact same high school.
Yeah, man, he was big time, man. He was, he went to Oregon. Yeah, he won state, 1,500 meters, man. I can only dream to run that far. But yeah, man, he pulled it off, got a world record, and exceeded even his expectations if you talk to a lot of the people there at our high school. So they had a big old deal for him there at the high school, so it was pretty cool while he was running.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty unique. He's actually, I'm sure we may have more, but he is the second one we had back in the 90 whatever Olympics. Chris Huffins, who was I ran track with, we graduated together. He got a bronze medalist in the what's when you do all the events?
Triathlon?
Triathlon.
Or decathlon?
Decathlon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, he was going against.
I'm going to start naming.
Do you remember the Dave guys who weren't brothers?
Yeah, the Daves.
Yeah, right. He was second behind him.
The guys that were in the McDonald's commercials.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
The Daves.
And he was a sprinter, and he turned into everything. He went to Purdue at first, then he transferred to Cal Berkeley. He was super sharp, and then they ended up doing all that. And then he's got a So he my Super Bowl ball is there, but they got medals there, so it's a little different.
Be honest, your Super Bowl football was like probably
it was golden. It was golden. They they've had a lot of we got guys.
Wait, hold on. Is Hawker about to take your spot?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's about to just go, hey, move Blaine's football over.
Yeah, because we don't really have a Hall of Fame like that. I mean, it's just that's just kind of what they do. But a lot of notable athletes across the different pro sports. Yeah, actually, the McLaren guy for the Commanders, wide receiver, he went to Ohio State. Yeah, he's cathedral. He played running back in high school, by the way.
There are only two even athletes from my high school that have even done anything remotely in playing pro sports, and they are so far separated from each other. Like one is Howard Cross. From that played for the Giants, played for Alabama, tight end, won the Super Bowl with Bill
Belichick. Back in the 80s.
Yeah, back in the 80s and early 90s.
I remember watching.
This is how long he was in the NFL. He was not only on the Bill Belichick 90s teams that ended up beating the Bills, he was also on the 2000 team.
What?
Yes, he had one catch in that 2000 Super Bowl for the New York Giants.
It was He's actually working for the organization. I saw him on the sideline. I was like, Howard Crow?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I watched that guy in middle school.
He is, he is godfather to Tiki Barber's kids.
Oh.
Tiki told me that a couple of years ago because I asked him about him. He's like, wait, why did you randomly ask me about Howard Cross?
Man, Tiki Barber was a good player.
In between him and Rudy Ford, who played safety for the Packers, he's played safety for the Cardinals. He was an
went to
safety.
Your high school?
Yeah, those are the only two athletes that have done crap from my old high school. That's it.
Yeah, we got guys all over. I think we got like 5 guys in the league now from my high school.
We don't have 5 guys that's ever even gotten to the minors, man. Get on.
Well, we're just talking about the NFL. I'm not even talking about other sports.
Oh, come on!
I mean, hey man, you're a private school. My high school was. I would say it's similar to because it was a Catholic high school, like Father Ryan.
Yeah,
and naturally they do recruiting. So yeah. I was going to have some players.
Also, in between segments just a second ago, Jackson and I decided to serenade Blaine with some Creed, which is why you heard that when we came back.
Creed. I love some Creed. Yeah, it was last night, right?
It was last night. I'm
surprised Jackson showed up. I mean,
Jackson.
Did you go?
I did not go.
Who did Bert go? Somebody went.
Buck and Bert and Lucas went.
Oh, and they showed up to work today? Whoa, what were they? They weren't partying to the tardy enough then.
No, they definitely didn't. Oh, no, because trust me, like Creed, like they're going, it goes hard now. Like I'm trying to talk to my wife about getting Creed tickets for another concert. Like I grew up on Creed.
Coming to Bridgestone in a couple months.
That's the concert I'm trying to get tickets to.
A couple months?
In a couple of months.
Yeah,
it's going to be like October, and they're going to be at Bridgestone.
October 10th?
Yeah, because I want to say it's like Creed and Three Doors Down. And I mean, like it's a total late 90s, early 2000s. Like if you grew up in that period, like that's some like that rock music. Oh, it's going to be awesome. Okay. But yeah, Creed was at the amphitheater last night. And apparently Buck and Bert and Lucas had a really good time. So that's why we started serenading you with that. And we in Jackson may have played it.
Creed, yeah.
Yeah. So just, that's why that's happening now. The conversation comes down to Traylon Burks because, yes, he got injured during practice. It's just a cramp, according to Brian Callahan, but it happened at the very end of practice, and it caused everybody's heart to drop because we've all been paying attention to Burks, not only for the past couple of seasons, but also in going in and talking about what he is going to do as a Titan if he's going to do anything. Now, we've had some people in the F&M Bank chat that is wanting to know if Slay is actually trolling people with wearing the Traylon Burks jersey in the commercial that he's doing on Zone TV, because he's wearing the Traylon Burks jersey, but he's doing a commercial for injuries and stem cells. And so everybody's like, wait a second.
Well, I don't think that was his intent, trolling people, because he's been doing this commercial for, it's been going on for a while now. I don't know how long it's been on air, but I've been seeing it on TV for a while. So I don't think he's trying to, because I think he's actually a fan. He wants him to do well. So
yes.
I don't know if he's really trying to troll people.
And I think that everybody wants Traylon to do well. Yeah. But what are we actually going to see, man? Because, look, you were out there today. We saw what happened in the game on Saturday. 1 catch, and that was it. He played about 15 snaps. But Tyke Tolbert, after practice yesterday, was talking with the media about Traylon Burks and how he was doing this preseason and what he did after the game. And here is what Tolbert had to say about the wide receiver.
Everything, because his confidence is high. And when a guy is playing with confidence, it's hard to stop that guy. So his block technique is good. His blocking is really good. He's hustling down the field, probably as much, if not more, than any other receiver down the field for blocking and stuff. So everything is going well for him because his confidence is so high.
You're going to review that confidence?
I don't know. I know whenever you coach different guys, you got to find out, what triggers that guy to being better. Some guys, you got to get on them a little more. Some guys, you got to show them some positive reinforcement. He's a positive reinforcement type of guy, and I think that works with him.
Has he been able to keep the momentum going that he was able to pick up this offseason?
He has. Yeah. He has. And even for the practices we've had, from the Saturday practices we had in the stadium to the game of the night, there's certain things he'll do and he'll get open. He don't get the ball, but I just tell him keep getting open because he'll get it eventually. But he's doing really well.
He's talking pretty well about him.
But what was the main thing you took from that?
He's gaining more confidence. That was the one. It was very windy.
Okay.
He's
gaining confidence, which is a dangerous thing. What I took from that is I forgot how he phrased it, but he's the guy. He said he needs positive reinforcement.
Yes,
that shows me he's in tune with all the different receivers and understands all the players he's coaching, what he needs to do to get them to be the best version of themselves. Because some players don't need that. I didn't need that, but he needs that. So he, acknowledges that, and then when he does something well, and then if not, when he doesn't do something well, he kind of pulls him to the side and probably says, "Let's have a conversation. Let's take us through this play and what went wrong or right, and why you did what you did."
Yes.
But you can't just look at stats in preseason. If you want to look at stats in preseason, he played 15 plays. You keep saying this. He had 1 catch for 12 yards. Well, out of 15 plays, I think that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. See,
that's
15 plays.
See, that's what I said.
He had a 12-yard catch. And he showed his physicality. He caught the ball. He gained, 6-7 yards after the catch. I'd like for him to get a little bit lower, but he definitely, I don't want him to get the boom on him because that was, the backups there for the 49ers he was going against. So you just got to take baby steps, and those then lead to, confidence to a level where you feel like it can't be broken. And people must not forget, I know a lot of athletes, they think that's already a given. I think that is not a given in today's modern athlete. I think some of these guys can get broken once things don't go their way multiple times. I think, you got to keep that in mind. They are, actually human beings. And sometimes, after you haven't had success and had a lot of expectations as him being a first-round pick, is that he needs some positive reinforcement, and also he needs to have success out there and continually, to keep driving him to be better because of his talent level that he has, his gifts, his God-given athletic ability. So I like hearing that because every coach isn't like that. And when I say that is most coaches, and not most, some of coaches everybody the same.
Oh, absolutely.
And when I say that is, everybody doesn't speak the same language. Everybody doesn't have the same backdrop. Everybody doesn't have the same confidence levels. everybody's at different levels of where they are in the league. So to me, that's how you address the player, and that's a coach in tune with his actual player. So I really like when I hear that.
Well, in a lot of books, if you ever read books like on leadership and things like that, the one thing that talks about is you can't coach every single player the same.
But we say that. There's coaches that do it all the time.
Absolutely.
In pro and college.
Absolutely.
It's almost like, do you know another language?
Yes. And there's other coaches.
No, they're saying, no, you need to know what I just told you.
Yes. There are some players, again, this, there's some just like being a parent. Yeah. There are some kids that you just got to yell at them and you just got to be like,
get their attention. And they get their going, right?
And then there's other players or other kids that you just go, hey, no. And they stop automatically.
Right. There you go.
My daughter.
That's what coaching is.
Yes. I have a 5-year-old son who I know is ADHD, who I know has hyperfixation on everything he does. Mm-hmm. And whenever he gets hyperfixed on something, I'm having to, hey.
Come back to focus.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to focus on me. Mm-hmm. My daughter, who is only 1.5 years old, if she even opens up a cabinet that she shouldn't be opening up because it's got pots and pans or something in it, I just go, and she just closes it right back. You have to coach them differently.
Right.
And it's nothing against Burks about, hey, man, he needs positive reinforcement. But at the same time, this coaching staff is coming in and they know, looking at what the cupboard is in the wide receiver room, this man has been in the league for 2 years already. He's barely truly even been on the field. Mm-hmm. He's going into his 3rd year, and he's got all of this pressure on him because people like us, and I say us as media members, continue to go, hey, when are you going to do something?
They want to see results.
When are you going to do? Because you know why?
Where he was drafted. Yeah.
Where he was drafted.
Yeah.
Where he was drafted.
Yeah. No different than this year. It's kind of the sweat. It's like we got to see more than what we saw in the game. He didn't do anything bad, but we want to see more because of what we've seen in practice.
Absolutely. And that's where I'm curious.
The same thing with Burke. I mean,
because you said it, and yes, I have been sitting here and saying he only had 1 catch and he only played in 15 plays, and so. With that, and you as a former player, what do you pay attention to? Are you paying attention more to what the coaches are saying about how they are in practice or what we're seeing whenever they step on the field for preseason?
Well, I mean, I think you got to put everything in context. It's a preseason game. And so you're not going to see all the things and elements like in a regular season game. So if you get 15 plays and you get 1 catch for 12 yards, I think that's pretty good. In my opinion, he only got targeted 1 time. But if you also watch him, I saw him dogging some dudes and blocking. And I know that's funny and weird, but this shows this guy's a team player. So let's keep that going, and let's just kind of feed him a little bit more. Remember I said after this game, I wish they would have thrown to him a little bit more.
Yes.
But here's what they were trying to do. First game for this whole entire coaching staff, first game as a head coach with Callahan and everything else, they wanted him to run the offense, and it was more about Levis. See? We got to get Levis in tune to make sure he is hitting what the defense gives us. And he did that. As much as we don't know how much he might have been fighting back to throw it deep on every play. We don't know. So he did do what he was supposed to do. And then he let the defense dictate where he's supposed to throw the ball. And he did. So, and that only led to Burks getting 1 ball thrown to him. So a receiver is a prisoner to how many targets he gets. Mm-hmm. So that's all he can do. If he doesn't throw me the ball, I could have been open 50 billion times, but if he didn't throw me the ball, what can I do?
Well, we talked about it, and we've talked about it off air, and if you've been on Netflix, you've watched the show Receivers, and one of the very first things they ever say is that, look, it's, my position is one that where I don't dictate when I get the football. I could have a perfect route, get wide open, and if the quarterback doesn't throw me the football, it's all for nothing. So the only thing I can do is work hard to get it. And once I get the football, I'm going to act the way I do. Matter of fact, I want to think this was Randy Moss saying it in the very beginning of the show was, look, I'm going to get excited and act over the top and all that because you don't understand how many times I will run a perfect route or I'll run a perfect play, get open, have my hand up and everything, and the quarterback doesn't see me, and it's all for naught. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, like with Burks, and you're talking about this, we had somebody on the F&M Bank chat that says, do you think that all this conversation from Burks with the coaches and everything, is this kind of, fluffing it up because the Titans may be looking to try to make a move in the next week or so, and Burks could be a part of this if it's a team that needs a wide receiver?
Well, I think they're doing it for their own personal gain now. because they don't know what the future holds, whether he's with the team or not. And when I'm saying not with the team, maybe they do trade him, maybe they don't. I don't know if he's even in those conversations. But they still want to have to be speaking positive about him, and it's going to pay out for them in the end, regardless if he's with the team or not. It's going to help them for trade. They're talking him up. It's going to help them in his performance and him building his confidence. And confidence just comes with, repetition over and over again, and then the game should be easy. So, I think they're trying to be positive because they want to give him a clean slate. I heard the OC talk about, really basically everybody gets a clean slate. We watched film of all the players last year, and we didn't want to have a preconceived notion about them, even though we watched film. Mm-hmm. We wanted to get an idea about who they were as players. And then when we get out here and coach them, maybe we coach them differently or have them doing different things at their position. And then all of a sudden the light clicks on, and then all of a sudden we got a different player. So you don't know that. You have to give everybody a clean slate when you're a coach because you want to use all the players because you don't know when you may need one.
Well, and look now,
somebody may get injured and then you need them. So guess what? If Burks is on the team and all of a sudden D-Hop is not available for the first 2 or 3 games,
I don't know. It's legit. It's realistic. He may not be.
Well, you want to just trash Burks in the media? Oh, he's horrible. He's not doing what we told him to do. And guess what? Is that helping me as a coach?
No, it's not helping him either.
Like twofold.
Look, and I know this term gets thrown around a lot, but you have to understand, like with Burks and the coaching staff from last year and the coaching staff from this year, it's almost like this staff came in thinking, okay, this man has like PTSD. Like he does. He does. Like this man is a wounded duck and we need to nurture him back to health.
Right.
And like it's like every single time. And I don't know how they coached him last year. Again, I'm not the wide receiver room. But what I do know is that he gets down on himself so quickly when he makes a bad move because he puts so much pressure on him. And this staff can see that. And so they are now having to go, look, man, let's just back away, take a deep breath. You're fine. Like, you're good. Let's work this. And they're having to coach him differently than what they are D-Hop or Ridley. Look, this conversation.
Well, those are proven veteran players.
Absolutely.
So that's a totally different arena. If they drop the ball, run around, they'd be like, oh, man, I got it. So because they've had success over and over and over again. So when they make a boo-boo, it's not as big because in their mind, they're like, that won't happen again.
Well, and Kyle Phillips is a perfect example. Like people talk about him being punt return and this, but he also has, as much as I get on to Chig about it, he has fumble issues with punt return. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost like he may be the same way this way, and the coaches know, hey man, look, we're this is a clean slate. Every bit of this is a clean slate. So with Burks, yeah, they're going to coach him differently. They need to coach him differently. And by the way, we just got a text message a few seconds ago. Brent Doherty from 3HL has let us know Traylon Burks is going to be on 3HL later on today, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, what time?
It's just later today on 3HL.
Tune in the whole entire time.
Look, it was a quick text, okay? He just said, hey, man.
Hey, we got you, Mayor. We got you, Mayor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he goes, yeah, can you guys let everybody know that Traylon Burks is going to be on us today on 3HL?
Oh, okay. I see the group text. I don't check my phone. I can't do two things. I'm like Burks. I can't do two things at once.
No, it's okay. And look, and while we're at it, and we're promoting a lot of things, I got to do this properly. Will Levis, number 8, is going to be on with Buck Rising coming on tomorrow. Apparently, it doesn't smell that bad.
Yeah.
We'll continue. We come back.
We will also have a bottle of his new fragrance with us when he visits with
number
us tomorrow.
8.
I believe it's number 8 Parfum de Mayonnaise.
Yes, Parfum de Mayonnaise, which I am also being told that Jordan Dajani has some Parfum de Mayonnaise. He'll be joining us at 2:20.
Oh.
Since we've thrown out all that bit of information for you to think about for the next 5 minutes or so, we'll be right back. Brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Wrapping up the first hour, as he is the hitman Blaine Bishop. I am Joe Hunt, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, where, of course, if you want to get in on the show, it's 615-737-1045, where, yes, Traylon Burks has become a conversation because of him pulling up at practice. Just a cramp from what we're being told, and that everything is fine. Same thing with J.C. Latham. Everybody is good. Nobody has
your favorite player. He did good today too. He caught a couple passes. Usually I say he did good because he didn't fumble. Your guy Chig.
You know why?
Your favorite player.
No, and that's the thing. I love Chig. I want Chig to be good.
No,
I was telling Jackson during the look before the show started. I went in there. I get all my sheets beforehand. I print them all off and all that. So I'm showing Zone TV. I'm doing all this stuff, and I look at Jackson. I was like, man, playing as the Titans on Madden is so much fun. Like, they are so much fun. And Chig catches everything.
Do y'all run the same offense that we run?
Well, I don't think it's the exact same, because I think the offense that they have down for Brian Callahan is the offense that he ran last year with the Bengals. And so what the game does is, as the season goes along, they map out the plays and they start to add those plays into the Titans playbook or into other teams' playbook. So you eventually are running the same offense.
Man, it was refreshing just to watch our offense in the preseason game, just to see how it operated like a real NFL offense instead of like, I'm going to say this, high school offense where it run left, run right.
And then you're at third. Then you're at 3rd and 7.
Yeah. It was just like, oh my, this is how it works. And then you got the dump down, the safety valve. If things aren't open, on every play, it's built in. And that's how I learned offenses. So playing multiple offenses. So it was just kind of refreshing. Get it to your playmakers and hopefully get a positive play. 4 or 5 yards on a little dump down is a positive play.
Absolutely. And we actually just a few seconds ago, because we've been talking about Burks and his injuries and what the coaches have been saying, we had some questions on the F&M Bank chat for you about some players that did stand out to you today while you were out there at practice.
Ooh, it was kind of hard to see who really stood out, because I was trying to watch. I was watching too much stuff really on the field. I thought it was a defensive day, theoretically. Usually that first day, so both defense did well. But on one-on-ones, offenses all did well. At least the side I was on, I thought our offense did well. One-on-ones. It was really. I didn't feel like anybody stood out today. Now, some guys may be different if they were just watching that player. But I was just kind of watching just the Seahawks scheme and system and what they were matching up with, what the Titans were doing. Just like I said, they did a lot of dump downs on offense. Well, they were playing a lot of zone. So he was taking what the defense, that showed a sign of maturity as a quarterback. So I'm watching Levis. And then when he had opportunities, he saw one-on-ones, he went downtown. He just missed a couple of them that I saw. But they were there and really was open.
Well, and it even says, like, look, I love seeing the fact that Will Levis is now checking down if his primary receiver isn't open. Another player that got asked about on this on the F&M Bank chat was Byron Murphy II, who was the Seahawks number 16 overall pick this year. Yeah, and questions about how he did.
Yeah, I saw him in one-on-ones. Multiple times when the offensive linemen were down on the field where, the team was doing 7-on-7. So they're on the same field. So I'm going back and forth with my eyes. And he looked pretty dominant in one-on-ones. Now, I didn't focus on him on a team part of it, but when they did one-on-ones, he's a problem. Now, I'm hoping Sweat eventually can look somewhat similar to that. I know this guy's a little bit quicker.
Teammates.
They were teammates, that's why they were so good, and that's why they beat Alabama. They had some dudes, some for real dudes. And so, I saw him bull rush Skoronski and then do a rip dip, and it was like, watch out. So, I saw him win a couple reps. He looked pretty good. He looked like an elite. The 99 Williams, I think is his last name. He looked really good on a pass rush one-on-ones too.
Leonard Williams out of USC.
And we're talking about one-on-one, so I didn't really hone in on guys when they were doing, team periods. Besides, I'm watching, scheme and system with the quarterback, who's supposed to be throwing to on the side that I was watching. But they look good in one-on-ones. They look like they were special. It looked like the Seahawks are going to be good up front on defense. That's what it looked like, based off what I saw.
And Chris, before we head to break here just a second ago, it could be a quick answer because I know you've talked in depth about this on the show. Asking about, we were talking about Burks, are the coaches fluffing him up to potentially be a trade bait or not? But he asked about NWI and about if the team would think about trading him if a team needs a wide receiver. And I was like, I know how Blaine feels about this one because you and I have talked about it, comparing NWI and Treylon Burks. And I mean, just based on some of the things that you've said in the conversations we had, matter of fact, I believe it was even last week, like, I believe in NWI right now more than I believe in Treylon Burks.
It's a close toss-up. Yeah. Now, here's what I'm going to say. NWI, as much as he is consistent, he's a security blanket, he doesn't have the value on the trade market as Treylon Burks.
No.
Unfortunately, even though he has more production. And it's unfair, but that, the athleticism and potential that Burks has is always going to be the front runner there. So I don't think he has as much caveat. But if somebody's in a desperate spot and they go back and look and say, hey, if we want to bring him as our 3, for sure 3, it could potentially be there. But I don't see that. I think Burks would probably get traded before for NWI if somebody was interested.
All right, we're heading into the second hour. Jordan Dajani is going to join us at 2:20, where he had a nice little conversation with Will Levis that just dropped a couple of hours ago that we're going to talk to him about there. You can get on the phone lines at 615-737-1045 as he's the hitman, Blaine Bishop. I'm Joe Hunt, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Have you noticed how unreliable things have become these days? Like when someone tells you it'll be ready at 4 p.m. and it's not? People are really tired of that stuff. So if you've had this with the unreliable vehicle repair shops, come on over to Eurofix. Eurofix turns unreliable into reliable. And Eurofix has your vehicle ready when it's really ready, so you don't have to be standing around all freaking day. And Eurofix repairs all European cars with quality that beats the dealer and without the dealer pricing. And that's because dealer repair shops are designed to pay virtually all of the dealership's overhead, and that's a lot of money. So why would you want to pay for that? Well, Eurofix Reliable also means a 3-year nationwide warranty plus a free loaner car with every repair appointment. So make sure you call ahead as loaner cars are very, very popular. So if you're tired of the unreliable repair shops, come on over to Reliable, and that will be Eurofix. Family owned for 24 years. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But always tell them Blaze, yeah.
Final hour of the show, second hour of the show, best hour of the show. I am Joe Hunk, as he is the hitman Blaine Bishop, brought to you. I know, right? Like you just walked around.
Lucas left. He was supposed to do a segment with us. He bolted. As soon as he saw the light come on and you start talking, he ran.
He's like, all right, I'm going to get up and I'm just going to walk on out of here like he's SpongeBob in the meme. He's like, it's about time that I just get on out.
That's probably where our TV went out because he went in there and messed with it.
He did, as he talked about how humid and hot it was and everything.
That's the first time I saw him a little disheveled.
It really is, because normally he's like this ball of energy.
Right.
I mean, absolutely. Like he will not only do Buck's show, then he'll go into the prod room that, where we have the Phantom First Hour, and he's in there working on stuff for like Nashville SC, and then by the end of the day, he's still just like a ball of energy going into like Nashville SC.
We're also
games.
in that small little room because you have to tell all your other employees that work here what to do.
They're just people I work with that I just say,
that's
hey,
why
man,
we're in there.
Kind of need you to do this.
Yeah, he's very mean about it.
I am.
I appreciate that. Makes me understand, what all you do here because besides just come on air with me. So it's like, oh, dang. Hey.
Oh, trust me, I forget half of it. So I got to write it down 6 different times and shoot emails out because I'm just like, oh yeah, I think like Reed today. He was on the board for RK Dub because Bert is out with RK Dub as they're out at training camp, and he walked in at like 10:05. Well, I get here now at like 9:30 because I just dropped my son off and come straight in. And I'm like, why are you here? And I'm the one that told him to be over there.
Oh.
And I'm the one that totally forgot this stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's, so let me ask you before we get back into phone calls, because we got some of those at 615-737-1045. Is there a single person in the NFL or in NFL history that you can think of that would cause the total attendance number for a team from one year to the next to jump up 264%? I mean, think about it, not 100%, not double the amount of fans.
Player.
To one single player that will make your attendance numbers from 2023 to 2024 or 1967 to 1968 go from one number and jump up 264% to the next number.
Can I project what that player would have been?
Yes.
Okay. This would have happened, and you guys confirm it for me and tell me if I'm off my cuckoo. Cocoa Puffs. If Peyton Manning signed with the Tennessee Titans, it would have went bonkers in the stadium, and it would have been 200% more.
That's actually a great answer.
Yes.
I mean, that seriously is.
It just came to me right when you were talking. I was like, dang, who I'm going to say? I was thinking Jerry Rice. I was like, no, Peyton Manning would have turned this place upside down. That stadium would have been lit every week.
The reason I asked that is because the WNBA's Indiana Fever just put out their mid-season growth numbers since obviously they drafted Caitlin Clark first overall in the NBA draft or the WNBA draft. Their total attendance so far this season is up 264% from where it was last year. And they have, now here's the interesting part. 186,000 fans have attended a Fever home basketball game. 230,000 fans have attended a Fever road game.
But you're talking about in totality for the season?
In totality so far.
For the season.
For the season. They have had a 1,193% increase in jersey sales from last year.
Oh, I was about to say they both had something in common.
Team stores transactions are up 700% from 2023.
Dang it. Thought I had something in the bag. I was about to say both of them were the number one pick, but Peyton was number 2.
Joshua on the F&M Bank chat saying that Tom Brady, if he would have signed with the Titans instead of signing with the Bucs.
Tom Brady would have done it. But I think, it would have done it because Peyton Manning, it would have been a different level.
Oh.
And they had a shot of getting them.
Absolutely.
Well, they had a shot of getting both of them at 2 different times, but he was in the building. And, I mean, he's sitting down and all because the coordinator, what, are we kidding me? Yeah, that would have been a great move there.
615-737-1045. Let's head out to Gallatin. Jason, welcome in, man. How's it going?
Turn your radio down.
Hey, Jason, can you hit that radio and turn it down for us, bro?
Uh-oh.
All right, gonna throw him back on hold. Jackson, just let him know and let us know whenever he is ready to talk about it. Because yes, and as he was wanting to talk about Traylon Burks, don't forget coming up on 3HL today, Traylon Burks will join 3HL here in just a little bit. Don't forget also that Buck will have Will Levis tomorrow and Perfume de Mayonnaise. Even though Ricky on the F&M Bank chat says, please stop whispering, I'm still going to keep doing it.
Oh, I know. Yeah. That's your sexy voice?
No, it's just my voice that you would no. Yeah. All right, hold on. Let's try it again. Nathan, I apologize, man. What's up?
Not much. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, you're good now, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. I'm listening while I'm working, and I keep hearing talk about Traylon Burks, and I just feel like he deserves a little bit of respect, and I know y'all are giving it to him. Mm-hmm. He's been playing on a team with a horrible offense in the past couple of years and hasn't gotten a real chance to do what he's going to do. So I feel like everybody needs to give him a little bit of love. That's all I was talking about.
That's what his coach is trying to do.
And thanks for that, Nathan. No,
Coach Tobin.
Look, and that's the thing. Like, let me slow down.
But I get it though. Excited. You know, there's certain pressures that come with, you know, being the first, first round pick. But at some point, it goes back to it's football, and at the same time, it's a sport. So I can't say I was never a first round pick, but to me, at some point, that pressure is over. And to me, after your first game or year, and then you move forward, and then everything else is operations, just like you. And when you put in the work, the expectations are going to be there, but the performance will be there. And he just didn't have the opportunity because he kept getting injured. And then when he came back, they was like they were using him as a decoy. So I don't really know how good he can be until we actually see it on a consistent basis. And I feel like he has the tools, but there's a whole bunch of guys I know had tools and didn't ever pan out.
No, I mean, look, that's the same thing about Caleb Farley. Like I've told you on the air,
has some tools.
I have joked on Caleb Farley to no end. Like, I mean, I have, man, not about off the field, but on the field. Mainly, I mean, it's kind of off the field.
So you basically been joking about Burks then. He's kind of been somewhat similar.
I mean, seriously, like with Caleb, like I can't help but make it off the field because he's never on the field. So it's always off the field. But it's the whole thing with Burks is like I joke on him, but man, I want him to be good. It's like with Chig. It angers me that Chig fumbles. It angers me.
But wait, how many times has he done it in a game?
Dang it, I don't know. Give me about 13 seconds and I'll give you an answer to that. But I know how many times he's done it when I've been at practice because I'm the one had to pick up the football both times.
He definitely. I think you're the bad luck.
I really think
he didn't fumble today and caught a pass and you weren't there.
It's because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I know.
It's because I wasn't there.
I think
like
he
today.
fears your mohawk. Have people told you that before? They fear your mohawk.
They do like a quick little whoa. What is that?
Oh, it's sharp.
Yes, there's a guy yesterday at my son's high school. He's 5. Yeah, that's right, his high school. Your kid thinks your kid is smart.
Hey, your kid grew fast, man.
Oh, absolutely. By 6, he's already going to be a scientist. But no, like at my kid's school, like the teacher knocked on the window and he said, roll the window down. I thought, crap, what did my kid do? He just got out of the car. He's like, hey man, I should have got you to come out and take a picture with his kid and his mohawk. I'm like, dude, I would totally do it.
Oh.
Because he's like, man, I joked with him about it, but he said some of his classmates said something about it. I'm like, dude, let them talk. Yeah. They remember you by the mohawk.
Oh.
And, Rashad
so your
Weaver,
son has a mohawk too?
He did during the summer.
Oh, okay.
He did during the summer. He wanted to get a mohawk like daddy, so we let him have it during the summer. But then about a month, probably 3 weeks beforehand, we let it start growing back out so that he can have his school haircut for school pictures.
Oh,
but yeah, dude, it's just hair. Most of the time it grows back.
Picture.
Yeah. My wife didn't want him to have it. My wife didn't want him to have it.
Yeah.
My wife did not want him to have it. She doesn't trust me to go to the barber with him. She does not.
Because you're going to let him get whatever cut he wants?
Exactly. Because what I do is like what I do with everything, no matter if he's in the pantry, no matter if he's watching football. Like he asked me yesterday, Daddy, which team do you like? I'm like, well, I like this team, man, but whatever team you want to like, you can like. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Whatever team you want to like. Which one on the field right now do we like? Whichever one you want to like. Yeah. Whichever one it is. So when he gets in the chair to get his haircut, hey, man, what kind of haircut you want?
Oh.
And he'll just say, I want one like yours. And my wife's like, nope. Here's a picture. 17 different views. You do this picture right here.
So you're not trying to program him to be an Auburn Tiger?
No, because my wife's trying to program him to be an Alabama fan.
Oh, confliction in the house?
Oh, she's trying so hard. But see, because again, and man, this may go ahead and cause it. But for people that don't know, I'm an Auburn and Tennessee fan, which is so weird. And I understand that it's weird. But because I like Auburn and I like Tennessee, my wife is 1,000% against it because this football season, I wanted to get my son some overalls, the checkered overalls that you see all the Tennessee fans wearing. Yeah, I found some. Yeah. I wanted to get them. My wife said, and I quote, "If you bring those into the house, I will use them to start a fire."
And with that being said, we'll go to break with no fire.
104.5 The Zone.
Hey, this is Blaine Bishop. I want to know if you have heard about peptides. Peptides are shaking up the fitness world, and they are naturally occurring aminos in our bodies. And as we age, they start to decline. At some point, they may need to be supplemented. This is why our workouts can stop being productive at the gym. And maybe you feel like you've hit a wall, or perhaps you feel tired all the time. You may be struggling to stay awake even in the evenings. Well, if you had the thought this is just a normal part of aging, it doesn't have to be that way. Peptides are proven to increase muscle and performance, burn fat, and help with recovery between workouts and more. And peptides can even help with motivation and mental clarity. And these are safe, naturally occurring aminos, not pharmaceuticals. A natural and holistic way to get your body back to peak performance. Plus, Edge Peptide Therapy has the most comprehensive blood panel around. So when you go to Edge, you will know exactly what is going on inside of your body and what it needs to get back to peak performance, just like I did. So feel better from the inside out. So go to edgepeptide.com. Yes, that's edgepeptide.com, or you can give them a call at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878.
On the F&M Bank chat, Josh hops in and says that my son is a Cowboys fan.
Yoo-hoo.
So for his 17th birthday yesterday, I bought him a Tony Pollard jersey. As obviously now he is a Titan, so I'm assuming he means he bought him a Tony Pollard Titans jersey.
Yeah,
but, I just want to give it, here you go. You can have this, just whatever you want to do. Like, just, you do it with what's your leisure. There are two people that actually came up in the conversation that we had about Caitlin Clark that we started off the hour with about that would have the impact on their team where the attendance could jump up over 264%, like what the Indiana Fever says their season has done since they drafted her. Two of them, one, Tim Tebow during his 2011 season when he was just going off. Oh. That's one that got brought up, which I don't have the numbers for it, but I mean, that's big. A player that made a difference. The other one came Brady? From D Squared, was actually Michael Jordan when he joined the Wizards.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just talking about. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just, NFL, and I just meant in general. And NFL would be an example, but I don't.
Yeah, the Wizards were dead, and I start watching the Wizards.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even though MJ wasn't, air anymore like that.
No, and the only reason he did it was because he kept going to practice and he kept trying to talk to the players about what they need to be doing.
Because he was the owner, right?
He was one of the he was like a minority owner, and he was at the practices, and he kept seeing them practice, and he's like, you guys have no clue what you're doing. And every time that he kept trying to tell them and help them out with it, like nobody's listening, he's like, screw it.
Yeah.
Give me my shoes.
That's what happens sometimes with elite athletes because they can't understand why they can't do what he did. Well, they're not you, bro.
If I tell you to do this, it should only take you one time. Right. It should only take you one time.
Yeah, he used to get probably frustrated at practice, I'm sure, with some of the guys.
Probably?
You heard the Steve Kerr stories. I'm sure there were other ones. But
Dajani, as you were talking to Will Levis, as Jordan Dajani from CBS Sports joins us, was there any sort of getting frustrated because of the fact that, you wanted to smell the cologne that you were given yesterday?
What's going on, my friends? Yeah, the interview was actually courtesy of Hellman. So we did talk about the fragrance itself. Of course, we talked about football matters, recapped the offseason, the preseason, how the new look offense is going to operate, the energy that the new defensive coordinator, Denard Wilson, is bringing, what success personally would look like for him in 2024. But we also did talk about his new mayonnaise-based fragrance that he did release. And thankfully, Hellman's was nice enough to send me a bottle before the release. So I was able to partake before its release yesterday.
All right. Got to be honest, man. Be honest with us.
Yeah, so here's my review. And of course, as we all know, I am a world-renowned expert on the fragrance front. But
yeah, that's what we're hearing. That's what we hear.
Yeah, exactly. No, just kidding. I'm the last person in the world who should be reviewing colognes or fragrances, whatever it may be. But the one thing I will tell you is that it's a legitimate fragrance. It's not like you put it on and all of a sudden you smell like a Subway shop. It's not like that. It's a legitimate fragrance. So yeah, there's some scintillating undertones, some playful aroma for the nostrils, and they gave me a nice little card to read from in case I ever found myself in a radio interview talking about this. And it states that, let me prepare my speaking voice real quick. The fragrance opens with a bright burst of tart lemon that provides a refreshing and clean introduction. At the heart of the fragrance lies a creamy, daring mayonnaise accord offering smoothness and complexity. Next, a whisper of parsley adds a fresh herbal element reminiscent of a well-prepared dish, and so on. So they were able to state it much more effectively than I ever could.
I'm sorry, Blaze. Thank you.
I think Mr. Hunk got you beat there on there.
I did a dramatic reading of this, Jordan, and in fact, it was so dramatic that on the F&M Bank chat, people have told me never to whisper on the air ever again.
Amazing.
Yeah, it absolutely. So but we're talking with Will Levis outside of the mayonnaise stuff and everything. Like, how was QB1?
He's great. I mean, one of the things we talked about, I asked him, I was like, hey, you got to be feeling great about what this front office did to support you. I mean, in terms of the head coach hire, the creation of what promises to be one of the best wide receiver trios in the NFL. They invested resources into the offensive line. And he talked about how, it's great. And, it makes me want to play hard for this organization because they backed me up and that feels great. One thing he told me was one thing that fans around the league are going to learn about the Titans very quickly this upcoming season is that they have versatility, right? It's no longer Derrick Henry pounding the A-gap. They have a lot of playmakers around them, which Levis promises to use. It's going to be about sharing the rock, giving guys different touches because they're all deserving of touches in this new scheme. Now, I think my main takeaway with Will Levis was I asked him just point blank, what does success look for you in 2024? What does it look like? And he told me he's not looking at stats. He's not looking at a record or anything like that. But he wants to be able to turn on the tape and see himself making the right decisions in the offense. He talked about doing the boring things when they're necessary because those boring things that quarterbacks do, such as hitting your check down, throwing it out to the running back efficiently, that's how quarterbacks find success and play for many, many years in this league. And I think that's good to hear from Will Levis because we all know he's a home run hitter. He's got that elite arm talent that's capable of pushing the ball down the field. But if he can become perfect with doing the small things, with those short intermediate passes, then that's going to be really beneficial for him to prove that he can be a franchise quarterback.
As Jordan Dajani of CBS Sports joins us right now on 104.5 The Zone.
Well, let's stay with that stick there since we're talking about Mayo and see what you think about. What's his name? Gerard Mayo, the head coach of the Patriots now. Yeah, VFL. What do you think about what he said about if you get in fights and if you're a vet, you get in a fight, you're going to play the entire preseason. You're a young player, you're not going to play at all. So what did you think when you heard that? Because actually it made sense to me, but then again, who am I, right?
Hey, I think it's genius. It's genius. They thought he was a Belichick protege. Well, sure enough, this is a genius way to approach preseason. Look, if you want to get in fights, then we're going to hurt your preseason minutes if you're a young player. And if you're a starter, I'm going to punish you by making you have to play. So I thought it was a great way to turn it around on the players in terms of that threat of discipline with preseason minutes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I guess a lot of players now are looking around and saying about minutes, and they want minutes, and they want to get paid for their minutes and their production. What's going to happen? Riddick, Judon, is there any possibility the Titans could get them, man? What are they asking?
Oh, my gosh, man. This situation is super fun to watch because, it's already bad general managing to trade a future third for a player who wants a new contract and you don't give him that new contract immediately. But it would be hysterically bad managing to trade the player for pennies after giving up that future third, knowing the conundrum that you're currently facing. And that's why the Jets immediately came out and said, no, we are not trading him despite his request. We're not going to trade him. Now, if the Jets somehow find a trade partner that can offer something better than a future third, but they would also have to give Riddick the kind of contract he's after, then sure, let's do the deal. It's like flipping homes, right? Flipping draft picks. But I don't think that's likely. I don't think it's very likely at all. So if I had to guess on a potential resolution, maybe the Jets give him a raise and he can at the very least, play out this 2024 season on the contract. But the bottom line is he's looking for a lucrative extension. And we talked a little bit about it last week in terms of him wanting around that top 5 money per year, which, again, I don't know how tangible and how possible that is for him to get. So it's a super fun situation to watch because we're not Jets fans and we don't cover the Jets. But I'm sure the NFL world is super intrigued to see what happens next.
Well, we saw Jamar Chase, Bengal, not at practice. Is that something to keep an eye on, or was it an excused absence? I don't know.
It's something to keep an eye on. And in fact, I wrote about this on July 25th. Jamar Chase was at practice, but not necessarily participating. And Zach Taylor would come out and say, hey, listen, you're not going to see Jamar or T. Higgins really participate in practice a lot through these early stages. We're trying to give some of these younger players reps. And I was saying, I don't know. That doesn't really do anything for the media to say, hey, this is not a hold-in. So now, once again, the situation has come to the forefront, and it really does look like Jamar Chase is orchestrating a hold-in, and Zach Taylor is basically not commenting on the situation, saying that it's kind of a day-to-day thing. In my opinion, it does look like Jamar Chase is holding in, but I don't know exactly what happens next because knowing how the Bengals operate, if an extension was going to be handed down, I thought it would have already come to fruition. I don't know if Jamar Chase is going to get that contract before we start the regular season. So he may have to play out this year and then really cash in 2025.
As we are joined right now by Jordan Dajani.
Whoa. What?
If you're a Vikings fan, just turn your radio off. Because I don't even think J.J. McCarthy is fully awake from his knee surgery from earlier today, where we found out that he is done for the season. The Minnesota Vikings are letting everybody know that wide receiver Jordan Addison was carted off the field today during practice as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Yes, that came out about maybe 3 minutes ago as we've been talking.
When you said Minnesota, you know the first thing came to my mind? I want Jordan to input on this as well.
What?
Tannehill signed with the Vikings. That's the first thing I thought. And then you go, Addison has been carted off the field.
I mean, wait a second. Is it, Sam Darnold, Ryan Tannehill, Sam Darnold.
Well, at least he's a backup in worst case scenario.
Yeah, no, and Addicted to Hawks is like, wait a second, what about J.J. McCarthy? So he went in for surgery earlier today. Meniscus. It was a meniscus. They were trying to see if it was what they wanted to, what do you call it? Because I know you've had this.
Shave it off or you reattach it and repair it.
The surgeon was unable to see beforehand if it was going to be a shave, which would keep him out 4 to 6 weeks, or if they were going to have completely repair it. He wasn't going to know until he got into the surgery and into the knee. Well, then after JJ comes out of the surgery, they found out they had to totally repair it, and he's done for the year. That broke at probably 12:30 this afternoon. Okay. And then just a few seconds ago, this wide receiver news about Jordan Addison going down. And again, no update on what the injury is, but you don't just cart a guy off the field because, they've got a cramp.
Oh.
So
yeah, I mean, the Vikings are cursed, right? I mean, they've had a really terrible offseason. I mean, starting with the tragic death of Kyrie Jackson, their starting quarterback, Mekhi Blackmon, tore his ACL on the first day of training camp. Jordan Addison had another driving incident, now facing a potential suspension. Now he gets that injury carted off the field. And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy. I mean, the J.J. McCarthy news is incredibly notable because I was talking to Hunk before the show.
Yep.
My best guess was that it was going to be a 3 to 4 month kind of recovery. It wasn't going to be a trim. It was going to be some sort of repair. And that was going to, of course, give Sam Darnold the opportunity to be QB1 this year. But apparently the injury was significant enough where they decided to push back that recovery timetable and take off the entire year. That is not something we saw coming, especially considering the fact that he didn't look injured in his preseason game in which he threw 2 touchdowns. They held him out of practice earlier this week due to knee soreness, but Kevin O'Connell was speaking to reporters as if everything was okay, and it was kind of, the traditional aches that you get after a preseason game. But this is a huge hit, and unfortunately, or I should say an unfortunate conclusion to one of the most intriguing quarterback battles around the league. It's going to be Sam Darnold in Minnesota with Ryan Tannehill on the way, I guess.
Yeah, well, to the point, though, about what you're saying about nobody really knew, I played with a torn meniscus an entire game, and until my knee swelled up the next day, did you actually know, something is wrong? So that happens.
Yeah, I think meniscus are like one of those really weird injuries.
It was a lateral meniscus.
Even when you know, like, it's a meniscus, like what happened this week, we weren't sure even before surgery what that timetable would be. It could be weeks, it could be months, and all of a sudden now it's going to be the full year.
So do you think Tannehill will get signed anywhere? Or does he want to be signed?
This is the scenario that we thought he would look for, right?
Exactly. I mean, we all talked about his appearance on the Athletics podcast not long ago, and he talked about wanting that opportunity to compete. Well, the problem is we're in middle August right now. Training camps are going through. We're already into preseason football. So you're going to have to wait for one of these injuries to a starter to happen if you want that chance. But again, there's no guarantee that happens. And I would bet that the Minnesota Vikings at least give Ryan Tannehill a call to check in. And, I don't think it's going to be your full-fledged quarterback battle. Sam Darnold has been in the building. He's been working this offense. He's been at training camp, he played a preseason game. So I think that's my guess. If I had to predict, I think Tannehill could end up in Minnesota.
if you want to go by comparisons, which I know that Tannehill has played far more games than what Sam Darnold has, but if you go by pass attempts and yardage per pass attempt as well as yardage per game, Ryan Tannehill has 7.3 yards per pass, where Sam Darnold is at 6.7, and passing yards a game. Tannehill throws for average of 225, where Sam Darnold is 183. So, I mean, in theory, Tannehill, as far as the numbers, as far as even in the Titans offense, still putting up better numbers than what Sam Darnold has in his career.
Yep, and he's got a winning record against Patrick Mahomes as well. Not a lot of quarterbacks around the league can say that.
No, absolutely not. Now, the question that we've been talking about and two players that we've been talking about on the show as we've gone throughout the week has been Matthew Judon as well as Hassan Reddick, as both of those players are kind of in situations that could potentially lead to trades. And the discussion came up yesterday about which one would you rather have if it's you and you're the general manager and you've got both teams saying, yes, we will make a deal, and the deal is the exact same for both players. Which player would you pull the trigger on?
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, even if we have the exact same trade compensation, what's the contract I got to give to each player? Because blindly, if you just made me pick a player, I'm going to go with Reddick because he's slightly younger. He's had some prolific campaigns over the past few years. That's nothing against Matt Judon, who is a solidified veteran where that Patriots defense is at its best when he's out there on the field. And that's why I do feel like New England's front office has turned their attention to this issue, and they're trying to find a way to get a resolution, whether that be an extension, whether that be added incentives, whatever it may be. But if you're asking me point blank, I'm probably going with Hassan Reddick.
As he is Jordan Dajani of CBS Sports joining us right now, 104.5 The Zone. Your mic's off, Blaine. Yeah, there we go. Yep. No, you're on.
I'm sorry, I turned it off. It seems as though Fields and Wilson now, the gap is closing. And looks like Fields is now taking some reps with the ones as Wilson is still kind of coming back from the calf. What do you think is actually going to happen here? Because in my mindset, I think Fields fits the offense because I'm thinking Arthur Smith and who fits where. But, Wilson still is the veteran guy.
Right. I mean, make no doubt, this is absolutely a quarterback competition. And Justin Fields, he had some good plays, had some bad plays in his first preseason action. He was clearly not on the same page with his new center, but he did flash his athleticism and his ability to throw the ball down the field. What I think is really interesting about this situation is, how does the Steelers locker room feel about these two guys? I mean, is it going to be where the defense would be more comfortable with Russell Wilson because he's the solidified veteran who is going to be more of a stable presence as a leader? Or is it going to be the offense where they like Justin Fields because, as you mentioned, he fits their system better, in my opinion, with Arthur Smith as OC. And he's been the guy who has been taking the majority of reps at training camp and now in the preseason as well. So is Russell Wilson doing enough to prove himself behind closed doors to remain in the lead in this competition? That's the main question I have.
I guess one more here. What were your thoughts, I guess, on the young quarterbacks? I'm thinking of Bo Nix, Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Anybody stand out, or someone you thought, hey man, this looks like he's going to be the real deal?
They all look fantastic, in my opinion, for first NFL action. I'm not going to proclaim them as future Hall of Famers just yet, but I'll talk about two guys quickly. Jaden Daniels, I think he only attempted 3 passes for Washington, but his first pass was him overthrowing a screen on his right side by like 5 yards, a really bad toss. But he comes right back. And imagine the gall for your rookie quarterback to audible to a deep shot after missing on that easy throw and then landing it perfectly to De'Ami Brown on the right sideline. That was a legitimate NFL throw, quick release. That got Washington fans really excited. He played one drive, punched in the touchdown. So Commanders fans are super excited. But the one quarterback who I thought won week 1 of the preseason had to be Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos. I think I'm already ready to call that competition over. I think Bo Nix is going to be your starter week 1. He went 15 of 21, 125 yards and a touchdown. But what I liked about his performance was he wasn't perfect, right? He definitely had some misfires, but he looked so in control. He looked like he was processing the game at a high level. He looked athletic. He took some chances at tight windows at times, but he also took the check down when he needed to. And if you go back and look at his touchdown pass out to the left side, I thought it was perfect. I mean, you got 0.2 seconds to finish the fake handoff, process where you're going with the football, beat the corner to the spot, he was really good at processing. And I think that's what Sean Payton's looking for in this quarterback battle. Someone who is experienced, which Bo Nix is the most experienced college quarterback of all time, and someone who can run his offense. I thought Bo Nix had a tremendous debut in the preseason.
He is Jordan Dajani. You can follow him on X at Jordan Dajani, or if you happen to be out at Titans practice tomorrow with the joint practice with the Seahawks, you can say hello to him as well. So absolutely, man. We appreciate it, bro. We'll see you out there tomorrow, man, and enjoy the practice tomorrow.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be wearing a really big black sun hat if you're looking for me, and I'll be the guy that smells like mayonnaise.
I was about to say, you better wear it. You better wear it.
I will.
Do it. All right, man. Have a good one, Jordan, man. We'll see you, bro. Jordan Dajani, he's got a little early release on that Will Levis #8. It's called Seductive, Blaine. It's a seductive voice.
Oh, seductive voice, yeah.
Shocked to have 2 kids if I use that voice. 615-737-1045.
I'm trying that with my wife calls.
Don't do it. Don't do it. He's the hitman, Blaine Bishop. I am Joe Hunt, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, Tennessee. Summer's in full swing, and Cool Ray's here to make sure your home is ready for all the fun and the sun. And we've got some sizzling deals that will keep you comfortable and worry-free all season long. So ensure your family stays hydrated and healthy with free water quality testing, because nothing beats a refreshing drink of pure water on a hot summer day. And Cool Ray offers a $149 main sewer line camera inspection. And right now, they also offer 15% off whole home dehumidifiers, as well as $500 off whole home generators. So let Cool Ray take care of your home so you can focus on making family memories. So call us today and take advantage of those scorching hot deals. Cool Ray, your trusted partner for a cool and comfortable Tennessee summer. And visit coolray.com. Cool Ray, keeping Tennessee cool, plumbing right, and always lights bright.
All right, 13 minutes away from 3HL, who is going to have Traylon Burks on the show today. Also,
The Burke Show.
The Burke Show, as well as Taylor Lewan. You also don't want to miss Buck Rising tomorrow morning because he is going to be joined by QB1 and fragrance entrepreneur. Is that a thing? Being a fragrance entrepreneur. Will Levis.
I knew exactly who we were talking about. I was a little puzzled, but
yes. Yeah, fragrance entrepreneur.
I saw the morning show had Brinker and Burke Nighthill, right?
Yep, had Burke Nighthill. You can follow if you follow us on social media, which obviously YouTube, Facebook, X, as well as Twitch. You can go and not only watch the shows live, but you can also go back and watch replays of the show where Denard Wilson was on with Buck Rising, as well as Greg Cosell earlier today. So I'm telling you, if you need insight into the team, not only is our very own Blaine Bishop out there looking at everything.
I don't know about that. It's those guys. I'm seeing everything and nothing.
No, you see everything, and then you're also going, please get up, please get up, please get up.
Oh, as a nervous wreck, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Please don't be hurt. Please don't be hurt. Please don't be hurt. Jamal Adams, did he practice today? Did we see him anywhere?
I saw him out there with his uniform on, but remember I told you the defense was on the other field.
Gotcha.
The only reason why I saw him is he came over and gave Love a little bit of love, and they was up there hugging, former safeties together, so I'm sure he was his backup, at some point in time, and had conversations. And then I saw, Jamal run back over to the other field. So I wasn't watching the defense. I was watching the offense.
Yeah.
Where I was watching the field. So tomorrow I'll probably be doing the opposite. So
Addicted to Hog says that he's heard a small buzz about Joe Milton and his game with the Patriots from the other night. He goes, but he hasn't heard much info on it. He says he's curious about how Tennessee fans feel about Milton and the way that he played for the Patriots. He played fantastically.
Oh, they're jacked.
Oh, he played tremendous. I mean,
maybe he's thinking like, what? Why did you do that with us?
Yeah, I think a lot of Tennessee fans are thinking about that.
Let's ask Jackson.
Jackson, were you thinking about Joe Milton?
Some kind of way that Milton's looking awesome, and then he just looked good with the Tennessee Vols?
Joe Milton is QB1 of the New England Patriots in my eyes.
I mean, here's the thing about you're looking at Milton, and you're thinking to yourself, it has him, it has Zappe. You also have Jacoby Brissett, and then obviously Drake May, because that's who they drafted in the first round. So you're thinking that they could keep 3 because of the new NFL rule. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you could totally see Milton being
So Zappe's going to get zapped.
Oh, Zappe's going to be zapped to the practice squad somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
I mean, Joe Milton may be the same way, but at the same time, I think the Patriots would keep him on the roster because he is showing too many signs of potential growth that they wouldn't want to lose him. Because, I mean, especially in that organization, you kind of know the backup's important.
RG3 Kirk Cousins type deal, maybe down the road?
Look, man, we're already talking about the Vikings being cursed. We don't need to have a Washington curse where, like, RG3 goes down on the field and you got, like, the team physician running out there thinking the man's leg's about to have to get chopped off on the field. Like, I mean, that was kind of what it looked like when all this stuff happened. But, yeah, especially in that organization, you know how important it is to have a solid backup quarterback.
Yeah,
because they built their dynasty on a solid backup quarterback.
Yeah, I bet RG3's knees, he looks pretty good. I saw him running the other day on TV, so he was running like 4.4.
Yeah, because people don't realize that with RG3 before he was getting
a track athlete.
Exactly. He was trying to be in the Olympics. He was an Olympic track runner. Like there was a potential for him to say, okay, I don't want to play this season. Instead, I want to go out and try to make the Olympics, which is fun that you bring that up because now with the Olympics over, the conversation has now went to the 2028 Olympics and the fact that you're going to have flag football in the 2028 Olympics. And there are NFL players that are saying they want to participate in flag football in the 2028 Olympics.
Current
players like Tyreek Hill or types of players that are wanting to play. But when do the Olympics take place? Like July?
I don't think
that's the basis.
I don't think any of these players would be out there.
Look, yes.
Tyreek Hill also said he could beat Noah Lyles.
I mean,
which I've seen him run in track meets, and I don't want to put it past him if he's training for it. So I ain't.
but see, like that now with the Olympics and with this, and these players are talking about it, like the entire, I'd say probably 60% of the first episode of the Bears Hard Knocks last week was about the Olympics and letting their player go over to the Olympics to support Simone as she is going in. So that was a conversation about it. Think about if there are wide receivers in the NFL and quarterbacks in the NFL that say, hey, guys, I want to go play in the Olympics.
I don't think that was happening.
I mean, Will Levis, in 4 years, he's QB1. He's already got his second deal. Titans have already opened up a brand new stadium. It's a year old. And now Will Levis goes to management and says, hey, guys, it'd be kind of cool if I could go try to win a gold medal. Like, can I go try to win a gold medal?
Nah, I don't know about that one, man. I'm going to say no to that.
Mm-hmm. There are NFL players that say they want to play in it, but the Olympics happens during training camp.
Yeah, maybe it'd be the practice squad player.
Zappy, you're up, buddy. Zappy can go over and play. Malik, you can go play possibly. Jackson.
Joe Milton.
Yes.
On the Olympic flag football team. I want to see the look on some poor Australian or Englander after he throws the ball 80 yards and does a backflip.
Be a murder. 3HL, Traylon Burks, Taylor Lewan, all coming up next. So in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.